Hello learners, I am Parikshit and welcome to another very exciting session on Unacademy CAT-alyst. In today's session, I'm going to talk about can we still crack the CAT if I start my CAT 2021 preparation now, that is 7 weeks before the CAT exam. The answer is a definite yes. There have been hundreds of students who have cracked the CAT in recent years and have done only about 2 months of preparation, and you definitely can be one amongst them provided you use the right strategy in these last 2 months. So game on, right? It's still not give up time. I know many of you are giving it up, but still not give up time, and game is still on, and you can crack the CAT if you follow all the strategies that I will talk about in today's video. Remember, today's video is all about if I have not started crack, can I start now? I'm going to answer that. Today's video is all about I started preparing for the CAT, but then I got busy with my college work, I got busy with my office work, and now I've forgotten everything. What do I do? This video is meant for you. How many hours should I put in? What's the exact timetable that I need to have for the next 2 months? A day-wise schedule, right? How many mocks should I give? All these questions I'm going to answer in today's video. So let's get started in this very exciting class of ours. Okay, this is me, your educator on the platform with the highest live class ratings. Thanks to my learners. New batches starting on Unacademy in the next few days. 29th of September, I just started a batch, right? LRDI, it's the Sunrisers batch every morning, right? It happens early morning, 7:30 a.m. onwards. So if you are a CAT 2022 aspirant, you can join the Sunrisers batch. If you are a 2021 aspirant, you can also join the finale revision batch. And again, there is a batch starting on the 2nd of October. So a lot of batches for almost everyone. And if you need discounts, remember to use the code Parikshit Live, which is there on your screen for maximum discounts. Also, if you use the code Parikshit Live, you will get free mentorship. I repeat, free mentorship from my side. And mentorship is all about helping you beyond the class hours in this last few days. Let's get started. Okay. Can I crack the CAT in this last 2 months, right? Yes, that's what I am gonna discuss. I think there are two categories of students here. Students who actually will be starting and who have not done any serious preparation. And there is another huge lot, I think thousands of you who started preparing for the CAT sometime earlier. But then what happened? College came, your semester exams came, your office schedule became hectic, you lost touch, you still have filled up the form, and now you're wondering whether I actually have a real chance to crack the CAT, right? Okay. First, now I think first before I get started, there are some must know things. Must know things, or I will say rather must do things. Okay, must do things. These prerequisites are essential before you understand how to start. Okay, must do things. First of all, I think it is very essential that you know the entire CAT syllabus. I think this is the first thing. If you're writing something, do you know the syllabus of the CAT? When I say syllabus, there is no official syllabus, but obviously we know what are the chapters in Quants, what are the things that are asked in verbal, what are the types of questions asked in LRDI, right? The CAT syllabus is the first thing that you should be knowing, okay? And I think most of you would be knowing this, so you would feel happy that you know about this. Second point. Point number 2 is I would say a pre-diagnostic test is something that you should take at this point of time. Remember, a pre-diagnostic test is different from your mock exams. What is a mock exam? Most mock exams are a post strategy. Post means you're finished preparing for the CAT and you are writing the mock to know to understand how much have you learned. Pre-diagnostic test, on the contrary, helps you understand where is you at this point of time before you actually start preparing for the CAT, right? So many of the institutes, if you go, okay, many of the institutes, or let's say even if you type in Google pre-diagnostic test for CAT, you will get some of the tests. What are these tests all about? These tests are basic level and have questions spanning across all topics. Okay, have questions spanning across all topics. You definitely give a pre-diagnostic test at this stage and check for yourself how comfortable are you with the different topics. identify, let's say there is a very easy geometry question. Are you able to solve it? Probably no, or probably yes. You at least get to know where you stand after you write the pre-diagnostic test. And again, remember, this is very different from a mock exam. Type in Google pre-diagnostic test for the CAT and I'm sure you will get it. Okay, so this is point number 2, to understand where you stand at this point of time. Okay, then before you actually start preparing, I would say you decide number of hours you can devote, number of hours in next 50 days, in next 50 days. Okay, in next 50 days, because remember, the strategy that we are going to talk about will have no meaning unless you decide how many hours can you devote. Let's say we have 50 days left, and you believe that, be very practical. Okay, we are looking at an average number here, so don't take it extreme. You don't say you can study for 10 hours if you know that you will not be able to put in 10 hours. But on an average, I would believe that a student will be able to devote around minimum 6 to 7 hours, minimum 6 to 7 hours, and I would love to keep this number at 7 hours, 7 hours per day, 7 hours per day. If you are able to give at least 7 hours per day, can we say that you will have 350 hours of preparation time? 350 hours of preparation time, correct? In this 350 hours of preparation time, I would say you got to divide it. You got to divide it between study and the mocks. Study and the mocks. Remember, the mocks got to be minimum 100 hours. Whatever, even if this number is 200, these mocks would definitely be around 100 hours. When I say 100 hours, I don't mean 100 hours of writing the mock. I only mean 20 hours of writing the mock, fine, it's absolutely fine. But 80 hours of analyzing the mocks. You analyze the mocks, and we're going to talk about how you analyze the mocks. The remaining 250 hours will be your study. 250 hours is going to be your study. And this 250 hours, I would love to divide it across the three sections. So approximately 80 hours in LRDI, 80 hours in quants, and 80 hours in verbal. That is what you are going to devote for the next 50 days, next 50 odd days, right? This number is very important, and this number would keep on changing. The more, the better. The more, the better. But be very realistic, otherwise your entire schedule that you prepare will go for a test. If you say 50, 500 hours, fine, very good. But are you able to devote 500 hours, right? Be true to yourself. You know what's coming. You know that there are festivals coming. Probably you have some major office work coming up in November. Can you take some leaves? All these will matter, right? So all these will matter, and you decide to come up with this number. Fine. Number 4 would be basics. Number 4 would be basics. Okay, basics. Now I think at this point of time, right, the good part is the CAT is an aptitude exam, not a memory based exam or not a knowledge based exam. Because of an aptitude based exam, you think about yourself. In verbal, I don't think you have any basics as such. I don't think you have basics as such. You don't have to spend 3 weeks trying to cover up the basics of verbal. There is nothing such, because verbal is all about reading comprehensions, and I'm going to come about how to prepare for verbal. But again, when you come to basics, there is no basics as such for verbal. What about LRDI? LRDI definitely has some amount of basics. Some amount of basics you definitely got to know in a circular arrangement. If I say A is to the left of B, do you know that? It means A is to the immediate left of B. In a circular arrangement, left and immediate left, right and immediate right have the same meanings. Are you aware of such basics? Are you aware how to solve binary logic questions? Are your basics clear on percentage change based graphs? So definitely some amount of basics are there, and you got to clarify those basics. It is very, very important, and I'm going to come how you're going to clarify those basics. And but next will definitely be quants. Here you have a lot of basics. I think this is where there is a lot of focus on clearing the basics, on clearing your basics. Correct? That is about basics. Point number 5 will be regarding your accuracy and question selection. That's where you're going to focus in the next 50 days. Accuracy and question selection. Remember, you can't be solving 100% of the questions in the CAT, neither in your preparation. You can never be select. I see so many students spending hours trying to solve one question which is very difficult, going to one WhatsApp group, Telegram group, what will be the answer of this, what will be the answer of that. But think about it, the amount of time you spend on that particular question, won't it be wise enough if you leave that question and instead solve 5 more questions in that time? Correct? Think about it. What is the probability of the exact question where you are having a doubt appearing in the CAT? Probably very low, right? So instead of just trying to run after a question for 5 hours a day, 3 hours a day, going to a WhatsApp group, Telegram group, multiple groups, there is no point. Instead, utilize that time to solve 5 extra questions. I believe you me, it will help you. It will definitely help you. Next will be how many mocks should you give? Mocks exam, mock taking strategy. Number of mocks that you need to give. We are gonna talk about that. How many mocks should you give? Number of mocks. Okay. And then number 7 will be some peer group. Peer group you need to join. Some peer group. Have a group where let's say there are 5 people or 10 people. I am sure you are part of a lot of Telegram and WhatsApp group. But have a peer group of 5 to 10 people where everyone is like you. Probably everyone is at your stage of preparation so that it helps. So that this helps. Right? Okay. Now having talked about these must do things which you need to understand before you set off in your preparation, I would love to start with quants, okay? I would love to start with quants because before, remember, we are looking at 7 weeks and I think 2 weeks clarifying the basics of quants are very important, okay? Quants. So we will start with quants here, okay? First thing, I will go when I say quants, okay? So let's look at quants first. In quants, I would like to analyze some data. And here I would say I have given you 2 tables. This is the CAT 2020 breakup and this is the second table is the CAT 2019 breakup, okay? If you look at CAT 2020, all the 3 slots, there were 26 questions in quants, okay? Nothing surprising, all of you know this. But how many of you know the exact breakup in quants? Arithmetic, algebra, geometry, mensuration, modern maths, which is PNC, probability, and number system, okay? Now please have a look. This will tell you how to start your quants preparation in this last few days. If you look at 2020 and 2019, please look at the first thing. Arithmetic is 10 out of 26 questions, or out of 26, 10 questions. 9 questions in CAT 2020 slot 2 and 10 questions in CAT 2020 slot 3. Can you see? Approximately 10 out of the 20 questions were from arithmetic. Okay, on an average. In your 2019 paper, you know what 2019 paper, if you look at it, out of 34 questions, 14 were from arithmetic. 14 were from arithmetic. And out of the 14 questions, if I break up further, 6 to 7 were doable. When I say doable, I mean easy. The remaining 7 were moderate and difficult. But 6 to 7 were easy questions. Can I say, if you are struggling in quants, if you are not the one getting 85 or 90 percentile in quants at this stage of time, you know what? Your next 7 days got to focus. You got to focus on arithmetic. I think in the last 2 months, if you are struggling in quants, you believe that you are not able to clear the cutoffs, you are not touching that 90 percentile mark, you got to focus on this part, arithmetic. Definitely. Because not only the last 2 years, you can extrapolate the data, in fact, or probably you can go back to history, 2018, 2017, 2016. This trend has remained. Arithmetic will constitute about how many? Probably around 35% of the weightage. And you know what? 10 to out of 26, if you have 10 questions, this is more than 30%. And how many do you need to get a 99 percentile in quants? Let's say out of 26 questions, how many would you need? You would need, if you are able to solve around 12 questions, this would be a 99 plus percentile. 99 plus percentile. So arithmetic itself can help you reach that 95 mark. 95 mark. And I hope that you are aware what chapters are there in arithmetic. There are 7 chapters in arithmetic. I will repeat. What chapters are we talking about in arithmetic? Percentage, profit, loss, discount, average, mixtures, allegations. Then you have SICI. Then you have time, speed, distance, time and work. And then you have ratio, proportion, variation. These are the 7 chapters you got to focus on. And if you're starting your preparation, if you think that you still find this 7 chapters tough, you know what? You got to go down to the basics. You got to go down to the basics. Please go down to the basics. 7 weeks doesn't matter. You know what? Next 7 days, focus on take one chapter per day, one chapter per day, or one chapter even for 2 days. I think it's sufficiently fine. Even if you do that, in the next 2 weeks, you will be able to complete arithmetic properly. And I would suggest, if you are looking at the video today, probably you are still finding CAT preparation a bit tough. Please complete the 7 chapters. You do them nicely and they might just be enough to fetch you the 99 percentile. Remember, from algebra, geometry, modern maths, number system, it is not that you will be scoring a 0. You will still end up solving 2 or 3 questions fine. Arithmetic, if you get around 8 correct and from there you get 2, 3 or probably 4 correct. Let's say 1 from algebra you get correct, 1 from geometry correct, 1 from modern maths correct, 1 from number system correct. Fine. Arithmetic 8, another 4, you are through. 99, it's not through, it's about 99 plus percentile. And if you are done with arithmetic, I think the next focus should be algebra. But only and only if you are done with arithmetic. Please make sure that your entire focus is on these two areas in the next few days. You look at algebra, 13 questions out of 34 in CAT 2019 was from algebra, out of which 7 to 8 were doable. Doable in the sense easy. So where will you do the basics from? If you have joined Unacademy or any coaching institute, you have the materials. It's not a worry for you. It's not a worry for you. If you have joined Unacademy or any coaching institute, you'll have the materials. Please do the basic materials. If you have not joined any coaching institute and you are doing self-study, please take any book. Let's say you take Quantum CAT or you take Arun Sharma book. You know what? Please complete the level of difficulty 1 questions in the next 7 to 10 days. In the next 7 to 10 days, let's keep it 10 days, okay? Just do LOD1, so that if you're done with LOD1, at least you're clear with the basics. And trust me, CAT is majorly about LOD1 and a few questions will definitely come from LOD2, but that you can take care when you're practicing via the mocks. I hope I have made myself abundantly clear how to start your algebra, arithmetic, or for that matter, quants preparation for the next 7 weeks. Okay. Now I will go and let's go further. Okay. Now in the next 50 odd days that are remaining, right? Prepare a spreadsheet. In the next 50 odd days that are remaining, you prepare a strategy. Okay. What should be your timetable? Please prepare an Excel sheet like this, the one I am shown on your board, right? Please mention 50 day means around 7 weeks. You mention week 1, week 2 like this, okay? Week 2 and this will come up till your last week, week 7. Okay? Now have a target in mind. What is the target? The target is in a day. Let's say you are preparing for 5 hours. You can devote 5 hours a day. I believe you can give 5 hours a day. When I say 5 hours, I believe 5 hours of self-study. This is not the time you're looking at the videos, or probably not the time you are let's say attending classes. Self-study time. Self-study, okay? 5 hours of self-study at a minimum. And mind you, 5 hours is not much. I'm sure it will be 10 hours for some of you. It will definitely be 10 hours for some of you. But let's keep it 5 hours at a minimum. Self-study. The remaining, you are attending classes. Let's not count the hours. Okay? You know what? In week 1 and week 2, if you are focusing on your preparation right now, you are starting right now, or you are struggling in your mocks, don't give any mocks in week 1 and week 2. I don't want you to give any mocks. 0 mocks in week 1 and week 2. Rather, what you focus on in week 1 and week 2 should be, for quants, it's simple. 4 arithmetic chapters, okay? 4 arithmetic chapters, and in week 2 it is 3 arithmetic chapters. Correct? What about LRDI? In LRDI, you definitely got to focus in week 1. Please focus on your graphs. These are highly scoring. Yes, what are graphs? Any graphs. Could be a pie chart, could be a percentage change based caselet, could be a bar diagram, could be a linear growth diagram, right? I mean, could be anything, but please focus. What I am saying is traditional DI caselets, Venn diagrams, and so on. You please focus on the traditional DI caselets and calculation intensive caselets. Why? Because these, you know what, will help you clear your cutoffs. LR, there is no end to it. Can you get a games and tournaments question? Obviously yes. But do I have sufficient time to master games and tournaments? Probably not. Probably not. Why? Because let's say you're very weak in LRDI. Why fall after a tough topic, right? You're weak in LRDI, you're struggling in LRDI. Let's not fall after those weak topics. Pick up those cherries. You know what? Some of the cherries, some of the low-hanging fruits, which if you put effort, the output will come in a very short span of time. And that is where you got to be very clever. You're going to focus on graphs and traditional DI. Week 2, you can focus on arrangements. You know what? Sitting arrangements. So when I say sitting arrangements, basically we are looking at linear arrangements. We are looking at circular arrangements. Basics, okay, of LRDI. Can you please do this much? And you know what? What else is very easy? Binary logic. What is binary logic? Truth teller, liars, alternators. If you don't know binary logic, type in Google binary logic based LR cases. You get a lot of them, right? So please try to focus on the weak areas. Don't focus on tough topics like games and tournaments. 5 set, 6 set Venn diagram, that time is gone, right? If you are struggling, remember 100% of the paper cannot be tough. Can the paper be tough? Yes. Why is the paper tough? 30% of the questions, 40% of the questions were difficult. But you don't focus on them right now. You focus on the remaining 60% where you can actually score. Correct? What about the remaining weeks? And you know what? Verbal, there is absolutely nothing, but I will say RCs. RCs, I mean, there is no second thought about it. RCs is what you're going to do. Right? Now, when you are solving RCs, again, I will repeat, there are two schools of thought. Okay? Please, I firmly believe that what I'm going to tell you is the correct strategy. Two approaches. One is passage first. Okay, one approach of solving RCs is you read the passage first and then you go to the questions, and then you will go to the questions. The second approach is you glance at the questions first. And then you go to the passage. There are two ways of solving an RC. I have been teaching for the last 9 years now, 8 to 9 years now, and I firmly believe that, and I've also given a talk to a lot of students and have suggested them, I believe this is the strategy that you should follow and not this strategy. Why? The reason is very simple. Think about it and you tell me if you agree with me. If you read the questions first, I'm talking about the CAT, okay, not the other exams. Other exams, this one is a good strategy. I'm talking only about the CAT now. In the CAT, okay, for that matter, CAT level questions, if you read the questions first, okay, and then you go to the passage, the problem is, you know what? You read the question and then the question says, what does the author mean when he says the society is deprived of something, dot, 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 there is a line. So you know the question. You now go back and read the passage. So when you're reading the passage, your mind doesn't allow you, you know what, to actually understand the passage. Your mind has in mind that specific word, that specific line where from where the question has been picked up. So when you read the first paragraph, your mind is not trying to understand the first paragraph. Rather, what your mind is trying to do, your mind is scanning the passage and is trying to find that particular sentence from where that question has come. So that when you get that sentence, you stop, oh, I know that there is a question based on this. Let's read this part now. But the problem is, if you don't understand the first 3 paragraphs of the passage, trying to understand the 4th paragraph will become very difficult. So let your mind not get swayed. Let your mind not get distracted with with the questions. Please don't let your mind get distracted. Rather, glance at the passage first. You know what? When you glance at the passage first, your mind doesn't know. When you read the first paragraph, your mind will try to understand that paragraph because it doesn't know whether a question is there in the first paragraph. So keep an open mind. Read the passage first, and once you are done with the passage, glance. I'm not saying try to read like a novel, take 2 hours. No. read the passage first, be as fast as you can, but read it fast. Try to understand the main theme of every paragraph. Every paragraph will have a theme. Author is trying to convey one message. Do you get that one liner from every passage? What is the main theme? What is that main point that the author is trying to convey in that paragraph? That line is important. And if you understand that, you will understand the passage well. And then you go to the questions. Okay. Also, when you go to the questions, please, because now there are only 7 weeks remaining, I think these should be only question based. Now it's not the time to read novels. If I had taken this session 1 year earlier, I would have said read novels. It will help you. Now is not the time to read novels, right? You need a passage and you need a question. You need some questions to practice, and then you check whether you got the answers correct or wrong. Now again, I will repeat here. When you look at the questions, okay, when you are solving the questions, let's say in an RC passage, there are 4 options: A, B, C, D. And I keep repeating this. You have marked option B. You know what? This is your answer, option B. But the correct answer is option D. So you have got your answer wrong. Why? Correct answer is D. First, please do not read the correct answer. Do not read the correct answer. Rather, go back and first convince yourself. Read the solution, but read why your answer is incorrect. Why your answer is incorrect. It is very important that way. Please do not read the correct answer first. Rather, find out what you have marked. Why is that incorrect? Try to convince yourself. You know what? Oh, now I am convinced B is wrong because of the use of the word always. B is wrong because it is in a superlative degree, or B is wrong because author is very strong. That's not what he's trying to convey. That's a very strong argument. That's not what we want to convey. So try to convince yourself. Once you are convinced, only and only read the correct option. Read the correct option. So it should be the other way around. Not correct to your answer. Correct to your answer. No, that's not how you should do. You should first read why your answer is wrong and then come to the correct answer and then rate the correct answer. Correct? Now, this is the second thing. This is the second thing. The third thing in your RCs in this last 7 days, and mind you, this works, okay? I keep telling you these are strategies that will work and these are doable strategies. The next thing I will keep telling you at this stage, I will again tell you, and I've told you to the students who have attended my classes, you know what? You should have a spreadsheet. You should prepare a spreadsheet for RCs, okay? All about RCs. And you know what? You just type the topic. Let's say today you did a passage, okay? Day one. You mentioned day one. The passage was, let's say, a historical passage. Okay? Day one, you did another passage on philosophy, another passage on sports, and so on. Just type one word: history, philosophy, sports, literature, politics, economics, dot. Day two, similarly, you will do day two, write down the topics. And you know what? Day three, so on. Day three, what topics have you done? Accordingly, at the end of 10 days, do an analysis. You know what? Along with the topic, write in how many questions did you get correct. Out of 4, let's say you get 3 correct. You got 3 correct. Sports, you get 4 out of 4 correct. Philosophy, you got just 1 out of the 4 correct. Day 2, do the same analysis. Day 3, write down the numbers. At the end of it, you will have a 10-day period. You will have up till 10 days. Once you have 10 days, you analyze. What do you analyze? You will analyze that which are those areas in RCs or which are those topics in RCs on which you tend to have a higher accuracy. Remember, philosophy might be a topic which many of you might be weak at. And at the end of 10 days, you realize that you have solved 7 philosophy passages and your accuracy is just 25%. On the contrary, a historical passage, your accuracy is about 80%. What does it tell you? It tells you, you know what, you will get to know that, okay, history passages, my accuracy is high. On the day of the CAT, should I get a philosophical passage and a historical passage, I should opt for the historical passage. Why? Because my accuracy is high. Simple, right? Is this a difficult thing to do? Absolutely no. Remember, on the 45th, 46th day, you sit down. Please look at the chart. Look at the accuracy level of the different themes. Wherever you see the accuracy is high, on the day of your CAT, if there are 4 RC passages, You know which ones you need to pick up. You know which ones to pick up because you know that these are your strong areas where you will understand. Trust me, follow this and you will see brilliant improvement in your scores in the RCs in the coming 50 days. Very, very, very important. You know what? First 2 weeks I said zero mocks, okay? But I did not say zero sectional tests. For verbal, you can definitely take some sectional tests every day because as you know, verbal there are no basics as such, right? You can start giving sectional tests. So you know what? Sectional tests, definitely you should give. Definitely you should give. But from week 3 onwards, try to give at least 3 mocks, okay? 3, if not 3 mocks, at least give 2 mocks every week. 2 mocks every week. So week 3 to week number 6, you try to give at least 2 mocks every day. Every week. And last week before the CAT, that week, you just give 1 mock. You just give 1 mock. So how many mocks are we talking about? First 2 weeks, 0 mocks. Week 3 to week 6, so 4 into 2, 8 mocks. 4 into 2, 8 mocks. And week 7, we are talking about 1 more mocks. So in the next 50 days, I think it is easily you can give 9 more mocks. 9 more mocks would mean around, even if you take 75 questions per mock, you would end up getting around approximately, you would end up solving around 700 questions. And trust me, out of the 700 questions, even if you get 15 common, right? Let's say out of the 700 questions, you get 15 common. Is 15 a very big number? No, 15 is a very small percentage. Out of the 700, just get 15 common. You are through. Just you are through. That is it. Is this doable? Why not? This is very much doable. Trust me, this is very much doable. 700 mock questions, you need 15 common. Is it doable? Definitely. One more thing in this last few days. Do not start anything new. Do not, and I repeat, do not start anything new. You know what? There are many students for who, let's say, you were never ever good in, as an example, okay? I'm just giving an example. You know what? You have never ever been good in geometry. You have always struggled in geometry in your class 10. You have never ever got good marks in geometry. 7 weeks remaining. Your childhood had passed, years you have spent, but you could not master geometry. You have a phobia of geometry, or for that matter, some of you have a phobia of PNC. Fine. 4 years, 5 years of your life, you couldn't do well in PNC. Can you do well in 7 days, 7 weeks? Be realistic, be very realistic. No, please leave out these topics then. You leave out these topics. If you feel that you are not good at it, remember, again I am saying, this is meant for someone who has not done the syllabus properly. For others who are preparing well, this is not the strategy. This is no, you will do everything. But for someone who has 50 days left, but an ocean left to study, you can leave out topics which you have never been good at. Let's say geometry you have never been good at, leave it out. PNC you have never been good at, leave it out. Not a problem, you don't have a choice. Can you leave out arithmetic? No, you can't leave out arithmetic. Why? It's the bread and butter of quants. Can you leave out algebra? You can't. Can you leave out number system? Probably you can take a risk and leave out number system. Probably, yes. You might leave out, but arithmetic and algebra must do. LRDI. I have seen students going after games and tournaments. You spend sleepless nights doing games and tournaments. I'm not able to understand. I find it so difficult. Fine, you don't have to solve 100% of the questions, right? You don't have to solve. Can you leave out games and tournaments at this stage? If you have an ocean to study, you have so many topics to study, you are getting confused, you are not able to sleep properly. Fine, leave out games and tournaments. Who is asking you to do games and tournaments at this stage, right? So have a proper strategy. That is important. Be smart enough. Be smart enough to choose topics because these 50 days you put in the maximum effort and you put in smart effort. That is important. Trust me, you're going to come up with 99 plus percentile. You're going to come up with 99 plus percentile. Mocks, I'm not scoring well. Remember, I again tell you, mocks you are not scoring well because of 2 reasons. You might not be scoring well. Why? First of all, in your mocks, okay, the student size, sample size can be 20,000. Sample size, okay. How many students are writing the mocks? Same mock as you. Let's say you're enrolled with Institute A. And with Institute A, there are 20,000 students who have enrolled for writing the mocks. 20,000 students. Okay. What about the CAT? 20,000 students. What about the CAT? CAT this time 2.31 lakh students have enrolled. 2.31 lakhs. So when you are writing the mocks, you know what? You are competing with the best 20,000 students on planet Earth who aspire to get into an IIM this year. They are the best 20,000 students. That is why they too have enrolled with the mocks. But think about the remaining 2 lakh odd people on planet Earth. They are not bothered. They are not bothered to study. They are not bothered to write the mocks. You, on the other hand, are writing the mocks. So you're going to learn something. Other 2 lakh students, they are not preparing well. They have just filled up the form because their parents want, their boyfriends, girlfriends, someone wants them to write the CAT and get a 30 lakh package. Right? So what's the benefit? The benefit is when these 2 lakh students get added on the day of the exam, they are anyway not going to do well, and because they are not going to do well, their percentile will fall. They are not going to do well, and your percentile will increase. I think this is a common sense thing, right? You are competing with the top 20,000 on earth at this point of time, hence your score is low. But this 2 lakhs, when they get added to your box, trust me, your score is gonna, your percentile score, I don't know, but percentile is just gonna go up like anything, and you'll end up, if you're at 70 now, it'll be 90. If you're at 90 now, it could be close to 100 percentile. Correct? So put in the effort, but again, don't believe on luck, okay? Put in the effort, and the remaining things will be taken care of. The other point about mocks is CAT exam is a level lower than the mocks. CAT exam is a level lower than the mocks, okay? So if you ask me mocks, difficulty level, mocks versus CAT exam, CAT exam. Obviously, if you look at it, this one is easy, this one is easy, and this one is difficult. It's common sense. I don't think I'm giving you rocket science. I'm just telling you facts. Having known the facts, believe in yourself that this is doable. And trust me, I don't care. You must have known me. A lot of you know me. I don't tell you facts to just, I just tell you facts. I just don't tell you things because I have to tell you. And trust me, there have been hundreds of students in the past, from my students only, from my classroom students only, who have cracked the CAT because they have put in those last 50 days of effort. You end up with 70 percentile in the mocks throughout, very good. But in the CAT, you ended up with 99 percentile, and you definitely can be one amongst them. So I think it's time that you start, and it's time that you prepare well. I think you have got a fair idea of what you need to do. Prepare the timetable, prepare the verbal strategy, the RC analysis that I told you, and it's let the car get started, like let the journey get started. Yes? That is it. That is it. I don't have much more to tell you. Remember, for those of you who have already joined Unacademy Plus, or let's say intend to join for 2 months, there are things for you. Every night, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., even on Sundays, okay, today also, I do mock questions. Why? Because students find mock questions difficult. I take up mock questions, and every night, 10 to 12, there are lots of students who are attending. We have just started this course. You too can join me live on Unacademy Plus. Quantitative aptitude through mock questions. I take up mock questions and we start solving. Because you know what? Instead of you trying to read the mock 10 times, me explaining it once will help you understand. Right? Me just explaining it once, because there's a voice and there's a thought process, and I will tell you in a much easier way than you trying to understand a note or a sum or a solution written by someone else. So every night 10 to 12 a.m. you can join me live on Unacademy Plus. And if you are a 2022 aspirant, every Wednesday morning 7:30 to 9 a.m. you can join me live, okay, for basics of LRDI. For basics of LRDI. Okay, I see that some of you have put up questions. Okay, should we solve LRDI? Okay, let's take up the questions. LRDI question is, should we solve previous year LRDI questions from 1991 to 2008? Answer is no. Answer is no. Quants you can solve. LRDI should you be solving? No. What should you be solving? LRDI is sufficient if you solve from 2015 to 2020. Why? Because if you go back to 91, the kind of questions they ask, they will give you a graph, they will ask you what is the percentage change between 92 and 91. Those questions are gone. They don't come anymore. They don't come anymore. Now what will come are puzzle-based LR and DI case lists, which is reflective of the last 5-6 years. So only do 2015 to 2020, 91 to 2008. LRDI past year CAT questions are not needed. They are like old syllabus. They don't come anymore. Next, I can see IIMs now. That's very good. Thank you for this amazing session. That's very good, Sahil. And then who else? Anyone else? Sir, important topics in algebra. Okay. So someone is asking, what are the important topics in algebra? Important topics in algebra are, you know what? First is the most important topic, nothing more important than this, is sequence, series, and progressions. Sequence, series, and progressions. When I say progressions, APGP, right? So they will give you some sequence. Let's say they will give you a sequence like 1 plus 3 plus 5, 1 plus 3 plus let's say 6 plus 10 plus dot 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 up till, let's say, they will give you a number and they will ask you what is the sum of the first 3000 terms of this series. So such sums, they will fall under sequence, series, and progression. This is the most important chapter. The most important chapter. If you can solve this, and then what else is very important in algebra? Another thing that is very important in algebra is linear and quadratic equations. Linear and quadratic equations. Quadratic equations. So I think these two topics you got to do very well in your algebra. Sequence, series, progressions. They will give you some sequence. You got to find out what type of sequence and solve it. APGP included, and then linear and quadratic equations. Next question I see is, sir, I started 1 week before and I'm able to study 10 to 12 hours every day. Can I achieve 95 plus? I'm struggling very much in LRDI. Please suggest some strategy for LRDI. Again, I said 5 hours, and 5 hours itself I was saying is sufficient per day. You say you are studying 10 hours every day, okay? If you are studying for 10 hours every day, okay, and I don't know if you have a Unacademy Plus subscription. Let's say you have a Plus subscription, okay, or you intend to take up a Plus subscription for 2 months. It'll be very cheap, okay? You can use my discount code also. And let's say you want to start with LRDI. You know what? Everything with video solution is available, okay? My entire material is available. Entire material is available, okay? Let's say you're struggling in LRDS, you can take a Plus subscription. What is the price? 2 months, okay? 2 months Plus subscription you can go for. Plus it's very cheap. So the price is 7,000. Price is 7,000, and you will get 10% discount. 10% discount using my code. What is the code? Parikshit Live. You can use this code. If you use this code, you'll 10% discount. So you'll get it for 6,300 2 months. Okay. What will happen is, you go to my profile on Plus and you have the Plus subscription. You have around 300 hours of LRDI videos. 300 hours of LRDI videos are available. 300 hours. You will not be able to solve 300 because you will not have so much of time. What you can definitely do is, if your basics are not clear, okay, you can definitely go through the first 3 courses, which will be around 43 hours of videos. 43 hours of videos are available. Minimum, you should go through this. 43 hours. And what about DI? I will say DI is this many hours. How many hours we have for DI? I think 43, 50, around 73 hours. Around 73 hours for DI. If you can do this much, trust me, DI, if you do these 73 hours, there cannot be anything beyond this. Because why? DI is very predictable. The kind of questions asked in the DI cannot change much. You do this 73 hours of materials and you are through. LR, you do this 43 hours. So on an average, let's say 110 hours you are able to complete in the next 2 months. Okay? I think you will be in a very, very good shape for your CAT. Very, very good shape. So you can definitely go for the subscription and then study at your own pace. You can watch the recorded lectures n number of times. There is no limit to it. But yes, for the discount, and if you need any personal help and you need personal guidance and mentorship, you have to use this code, okay? Only students who join using this code will get that personal mentorship in this last 2 months. Parikshit Live is the code. You will get maximum discounts also, and you will also get personal mentorship if you join using this code Parikshit Live. So you can just go for the 2-month subscription, and I think this is the best way to prepare. Every question you'll get a video solution, video explanation. So first 5 minutes you try, you don't understand, play the video and look at the explanation. Yeah, best way to study. Okay. That is it. I think that is it for today. I was talking about this particular subscription, the 2-month subscription. 7,000 is there, and you can get 10% off using the code Parikshit Live on your screen. And just if you join using this code, I mean, you will not only get access to my classes, but get access to every educator's class which is there on Unacademy. So a lot of materials with video solutions and explanations to practice from. And yeah, the Plus subscriptions, if you are a 2022 aspirant, you can always join the Plus subscription. The plans are there. You need discounts, you can use my code Parikshit Live. Iconic subscription also available. And yeah, do enroll for the scholarship test. That is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the class. And I'm going to see you in my next class. Till then, goodbye and stay safe. Bye for now.